Welcome in, everybody. What's happening? How y'all doing? Tonight is a Marble-ICIOUS night. So we are jamming and jamming and jamming. We're making a giant marble tonight. I don't know about giant, 2.5 inches. It's a pretty big size marble. But anyway, that's what we are starting off with tonight. So we're going to start off on the process with, what's up, Michael? We're going to start off with building up the initial core, or the base of it, and then we will move into adding color and flavoring it up. What's up, Wimpy Kid? How are you? So right now we're just getting that all completely prepped up. Welcome in. What's up, Colleen? How are you? Dragonfly? What's going on? So yeah, we are doing Marble-ICIOUS. First thing is a big marble. It's only 2.5 inches, though. It's not a giant marble. So it's not too bad. All right, so we're going to pull off this little bit of chunky up in the front. That's always the scuzz, and I call it the scuzz, because it kind of leaves a little bit of this little, I don't know, fuzzy stuff from when it first gets cut. It never looks good. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start by building up the bulk. Hey, Jenny, how are ya? RW, what's happening? Hello, Michael. The marble I made the other day. I don't know if I have those, Michael. Did you send them to the email? I don't think I have received those. Hi, Lori. How are you? Definitely send me an email. That's the best way. I'll check the spam folder. Wouldn't do any good to complain. There you go. All right, so we're building up the bulk real quick. Again, this isn't going to be the biggest marble. It's only going to be 2.5 inches, but that's a pretty good size. It's a pretty good little chunky butt. Yeah, if you sent it email, I have not seen it. Yeah, try sending me one more email if you wouldn't mind. Okay, let's get this thing built up. So right now we're just heating and pushing very slowly. We've got to get this into at least about 2.25 inches in material. And then I can start adding the color, which will bring it up to another 1/4 inch, giving me my 2.5 in size. So we're just building this up a little bit at a time. I'm going to bring it down this way so you can see it from time to time. Thank you for the floating hearts, Colleen. Well, I'm glad you're new. Welcome in. We love having new people in here. All right, so we're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. We'll get this thing all built up. So we're going to bring it down this way and just keep building up the core. Now this one's going to have a tricolor. It's going to be blue, browns, and white, but we're going to kind of blend it in a little bit. It's going to be a cool look to it. It's definitely going to have a unique flavor. I like calling them flavors. All right, here we go. So we are just building it up. You can see the bulk down there. Got a little bit to go, though. That's not quite done. That would only give me about a 1.5 to 2 inch marble. KCH, thank you for the floating heart. We're doing a 2.5 inch marble. So this one is going to incorporate browns, blue, and white. But this is going to have a little bit of a blending to it. instead of the colors just kind of solid running down, we're going to kind of swirl them up a little. And then we're going to give it a spiral. So first things first, just get the color built on. Then we'll smooth it around with some clear glass, spinning it up and kind of like finger painting. And from there, we will turn it into a full round marble. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'll check it. I'll check it tonight. All right, here we go. So you can see the size of it growing up right now. It's growing as we go. Got another couple minutes until we have enough built up, and then we'll separate it from this clear and start adding the color. I don't have the heat shield tonight. It's not quite the biggest one. It's only a 2.5. When you start pushing over 3, that's when the heat shield needs to come out. That little extra 1/2 inch on that definitely makes a difference heat-wise. But these aren't too bad. Just a little bit more. Again, you see that rocking back and forth method. And that's to keep the glass kind of centered in there. I don't want it bulking up on one side. So you let it drip, get it molten, let it scoot down a little bit. Like that, and then you flip it to the other side this way so it starts falling the other direction while pushing it in. And that's how you keep the thing all stabilized, if you will. The temperature of the flame is roughly 3,800 to 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. No, glass doesn't heat up like metal, so it does not conduct heat at all. It is a great insulator, horrible conductor. Yeah, if you have questions about the glass, don't hesitate to type it in chat. I don't mind answering questions at all. In fact, it keeps me from being bored. Gonna go see Avatar? Oh, that's cool. All right, let me just gauge this real quick. All right, we got about another 1 minute left. One more minute. 1 more minute of building this bulk, and then we'll start adding the color. Nope, I do not make those. What's up, J-Dub? All right, 30 seconds and should be good. All right, we're going to start separating this big old chunky monkey bit of glass. And here we go. We're going to start the separation on this end first. There we are. Things are looking good. I'm going to park this way off to the side so as I don't get it mixed up with anything. I don't know about Godzilla. I don't do anything that has a copyright, but that's an interesting. You're the first person to ever ask me to make Godzilla. That's kind of cool, though. That's a good idea, to be honest. A Godzilla would be good. All right, so right now I'm just trying to get this little bumpy part right here mellowed out. And then we're going to attach a rod to it, separate the other side. I need a little bit thinner rod for control. All right, there we are. So we got this big old bulky chunky monkey bit of it right there. And we got it kind of smoothed out at that end, the hot end. We're going to switch it up right now. Going to add a smaller rod to it. Does two things. One, it's easier to spin. And two, it's a heck of a lot lighter. Takes a lot of weight off. Like that. Okay, next step, we're going to burn it off up here, and then we're going to start adding color to it. What's up, Eccentric Low? How are you? Blade, what's up? Kraken, I have done. I have done Kraken. I definitely have done Kraken. Do I let the rods cool naturally? Yes, I do. Now, my finished work goes into a kiln. A setup will cost you between $2,500 and $3,000. That'll get you basically a starter kit. And then, you know, down the road, you start getting the more professional stuff. What's up, Eric? How are you? Okay, we got that rounded off. I'm going to let it cool for a second. Mellow this one out. Two things at once. This is solid right now. We'll do blown glass a little bit later tonight, maybe. All right, so there we have the initial phase here. Ultra transparent, clear. And we're going to start adding all the colors in. And then from there, we will spiral it up very much like this. That's why I have this out. So we'll create this little spiral look like that, running all the way around. Okay, I think we're cooled off enough. Let's, I'm going to bulk up the white first, and then we'll do the blue and then the caramel. I'm trying to debate on how I want to do this. Yeah, we're going to do the brown first. We're going to run brown first, then the white, and then we'll go into the blue. Yeah, of course, we do lots of fume work. Yeah, lots of hollow. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta pull this off. Little fuzz nut. All right, let's go. So we're gonna add the brown, and then we'll add the white, and then the blue. So we're just gonna bring this down and start coating it. Like that. So we're going to do lots of color on here, but right now, and we're going to come through and we're just going to continue to add color all the way around. And then we're going to spin this up into the spiral. So while I do have this going though, I will show you the material that I use for my lenses. This is called didymium. Didymium lens filters out a whole bunch of different spectrums of light. One of which is that super bright thing that you see right here. So pay attention to that. We're going to bring this in, and there you go. So that's how I see things. like that. Totally cool, right? Thought I'd just show that to you for a second before we go too far. Okay, let's go. We're going to start adding this brown on. I'm going to do a little bit of this brown. Then we're going to just do a splash of the butterscotch in here. Some kind of like caramel color. And then we're going to blend them. Before we do the spiral. So right now we're just applying color. I'm going to bring this line straight down so it kind of marks where I need to be. And we'll fill in the gap. Just kind of rolling it through. And I think we're good. I'm going to add a few little brown streaks in here, just a little bit. Kind of give it some multi-level darkness here. And I think we're good. So phase one of the brown is done. So we got all the brown running through there. And then from the opposite side, you can kind of see it a lot better. There it is. We're going to streak on some of this caramel, and it's going to blend it up. We're going to try and create kind of like a wood grain effect. Kind of like a wood grain. All right, here we go. I'm going to take this and bring it all the way down. That should be good. Separate that. We're just going to kind of slowly intertwine this in a little bit, not a particular pattern. But this will give us a little bit of a wood grain effect here soon. Make sure I got enough of it here. There we go. I think we're good. Oh, no, not this side. All right, that should give me a little bit. So we got a couple different colors running through there. It's very hard to see while it's hot, but there's like a light caramel. Through here, you can definitely see it. And a darker brown transparent. Now we're going to add white, then we'll go to blue. So we're going to start adding the white on here. And then after that's all done, then we get to go in and do the spiral. So it's basically going to have a pattern within a pattern. And that is the goal for tonight. For a little MARBLE-ICIOUS Friday. All right, here we go. All right, we're looking good. We got it going on. This takes a minute to get it done, though. All right, we're going to change rods. This one's getting a little short. And we're going to add a little bit more, and then we're going to go right to the blue. All right, just a little bit more. And one more little push. Like that. All right, we should be good. We got the white. Now the last one is the blue. So we got white, brown. Look how much that brown came into effect right there when it cooled down. Definitely got darker. All right, let's go with the blue. A little bit thicker to work with, but it's okay. And we're going to attach. And this one takes a minute to stripe down because of the thickness of the blue rod. This one's definitely a lot thicker to start with. This is a chunky boy. Just keep adding it on. Okay, a little bit more. Yeah, we're almost fully colored on here. Just gonna pull a straight line down here. And one in between, fill in the gap. Make a happy little line. I do want to go a little bit over this blue real quick though. Just a little bit. One more over here. We should be able to incorporate this and add a little bit of clear to balance it out, and we'll start pushing the marble together. And there we go. So the last stage is we're going to be putting a little bit of clear in between there. So that clear has a gap in between. What's up? We are finishing up a Chunky Monkey marble. So this is going to be a swirl version. And it needs, no, I do not like that. That did not sit well with me. We'll use this one. Anyway, it's got browns and blue and white. And then we're going to spiral it all up. So it should look pretty amazing when I'm all done. I'm going to add a little bit of this blue onto it just to kind of give it a little bit of an accent. Because we're going to be spiraling and mixing all this color up. And that should do it. Not 100% confident in that. Hold on one second. Let me add just a little bit more onto this blue area. There, and on this other side. We should be all good. Now we're good. All right, so we got a bunch of color running all the way around. We got brown, white, and these blues running through there. So the next portion of this is going to be kind of mixing these colors up a little bit. We're going to be spiraling around. And just kind of blending everything up. So here we go. We're going to blend everything together real quick. Now I use a clear rod for this to just kind of smear everything up and make it look good. That way the color stays the same, and this is just kind of keeps everything kosher. And this will create, this brown is going to be kind of like a wood grain, which is a really pretty combo. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just mixing it up so I get that wood grain pattern. All right, that's first phase is done. So we got the wood grain going there. We're going to come over to this white. We're going to kind of blend that up and get rid of these streaks running down. That is not the right color. That is not clear. I'm hoping you are good. Yep, we're good there. So we're just going to mix all that white up now. And it's going to diffuse all those straight lines running down. It'll look more organic. So we got to come up to the top and blend that in. All right, we're good on that. White is good. Colleen, thank you. Eccentric Clown, thank you for all the jewels. Okay, so we got the white kind of blended in there. See how it kind of made it more cloud-like instead of straight lines running down? Now we have to do this blue. We're going to have to blend all that together, and this will be ready to go to spiral it up, which is ultimately what I need to do. So we're going to get the blue, we're going to spiral that, then we'll turn this into a full-blown, awesome marble. What's up, Dusty? How are you? All right. And here we go. Oh, this is going to look awesome. Yeah, this is going to look amazing. I can already tell. Last little bit of blue to blend, and then we're going to start forming this entire marble up. Now, when I get done, it should be about 2.5 inches in diameter. Which is ultimately what we want. It can be a little bigger, just not smaller. Okay, a little bit right in the middle. Actually, I'm going to take this this blue and run that through there just one more time. I'm sorry. One more time. Just going to run this blue through here. Give it a really good look. It's kind of just a back and forth pattern. One more right here, and then we're good to go. And there, we're all good. We're all good. We're good to go. All finished on that. Okay, so there are all the different colors. I'll try and bring the flashlight over and we'll do a little bit. So I'll try and show you some of the colors bouncing through. There is the blue. You can see the blues kind of got all these different blues through it. There's the white, of course, and then there's the wood grain. See what I was saying about a wood grain type of coloring? I call that. So that is ultimately what we're working with. Now comes the hard part. Now we actually have to get into a round marble. All right, so we're going to attach down here. Make sure that attachment's really super strong. and it's really welded in there. Let it settle for a second. And then we're going to come through and we're going to heat it up and push it to a marble. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. And here we go. Use a little bit of the big flame. I got it. There. A little bit of the big flame. All right, so what's going to inevitably happen, see that hot spot where it's heating up in the middle? It's going to get to a point where it's molten. And then we're going to take it into a marble by pushing it together. And as I push it together, it's going to create a little bit of a spiral. You can definitely see where I'm heating. I'm heating just in the middle. I'm trying not to mess with the outer portions at the moment. A little bit back again. Bring it down. Oh, don't want to take that one off. Big ass foot hit both pedals. Eccentric Clone, thank you for the jewels. Why do some marbles have air pockets in it? Well, that depends. Like, I can create a marble with air pockets in it if I wanted to, but other methods are people being sloppy. Depends on the air pocket. If it's a controlled air pocket where you want it in certain spots, that's a different story. If it's just because you slapped glass together and didn't try like bursting it out a little bit, then that's a flaw. Okay, so let's kick this on just a little bit more. You can definitely see where I'm heating. The outer portions are still staying pretty cold, relatively cold. And I think we're molten enough in the core that we can start twisting this into the marble. So if you're just joining, you came at the right time. All the prep work's done. This is the good stuff. And if you've been with me since the beginning, thank you very much for hanging. All right, so I'm starting to push this into the marble section here. And we're adding a little bit of a spiral to it. About like that. So we're going to let it cool off for a second. As it cools, you'll start to see that spiral taking effect down there. And I'm going to start working on one side of this. One side, and we're going to get it round, then we'll work the other side and finish it off. And here we go. If you want to see the prep, just hit the subscribe button and come back and rewatch the beginning again. Problem solved. So we're going to start pushing this in. Getting it into shape. And a little bit more up here. As we get to this end over here, I'm going to really start twisting it up and get that spiral right to a pinpoint. A nice little termination. Okay, we're going to separate this. So I'm going to have to come back to this. We're going to finish off the spiral right here. Bring it down really slow. Here we are, just a little bit more. And there we are. All right, so now we got a cool little spiral at the end here. And we can see the colors bouncing through. And we're going to start getting it into shape. What's up, Nat? How are ya? I'm going to bounce it over to this side a little bit. We're going to just start letting things work their way down. All right, as we're going through, we're going to be just a second here. In about 30 seconds, I'm going to show you the shield, and we'll be able to see what I see. So give it about 30 seconds here, and we'll pop it in with the shield. And you'll be able to see my visual. The knitting video. Yeah, the knitting video, I'm going to do a couple more versions of that as I get a little better with it. So here we are. We are currently bringing it down, trying to get it into shape. Kind of reminds me of like a McDonald's ice cream cone when the machines actually worked. All right, let's get this molten down. I am located in Washington. I am working on a 2.5 inch marble, although I think this one's going to be bigger than 2.5. It's definitely going to be bigger than 2.5. We're probably pushing close to 3. It's okay if it's a little bigger, it just can't be smaller. Technically, I don't know if anything over 2 inches is a marble, though. Fritz is doing good. He's having a good time. All right, so as promised, we're going to grab the shield, and I'm going to drop it down. So my glasses are made of a substance called didymium, and that's what this shield is, didymium. And I'm going to show you exactly. What's up, Red Squeak? Thank you. What happens to my glasses? There we are. So that is how I see the world. Thank you for the super chat, Red Squeak. Big shout out for Red Squeak. And like that. And we got a little wobble in it I got to take out. But we'll get it done. All right, so we're going to start working the first portion of the marble mold. The marble molds are made out of graphite or basically pencil lead. They are very, very good for that purpose. The only drawback to graphite is it is extremely fragile. So they tend to chip and break very easy. So you got to be careful. All right, we're going to bring it over to this one, start forming it up a little bit more. And hopefully you start to see that spiral forming up in there now. Got a little spin doctor spiral going. Spin doctor. What's up, Cruisin'? How are you? Oh, yeah. So now we got some really, I don't know if y'all can see that spiral. It comes and goes as we start forming it up. Yeah, we're okay. And now we got to work the other side. What do you use to color the glass blue? Cobalt glass. Cobalt oxide is what makes a lot of graphite or cobalt glass. Cobalt oxide. It's graphite. Okay, we're going to pop that there. Now we have to do this side. This is where it gets a little crazy. Got to let that little attachment cool for a second, and then we'll start working this end. So I got to create a nice little spiral to match the original one up top here. So we got to get a lot of heat built into this. But we get heat built into the marble, not this rod. We don't want the rod getting too hot. There we are. We're looking good. Lindsay, thank you so much for the super chat. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Okay. I have to start spiraling this up. So we're going to slowly start pushing it together. And as I start to push it together, it is going to create a natural little spin. And we should have a little spiral at the end of this if I did it correctly. A little bit more. All right, we're looking good now. Now I'm good. Centric Clone, Rebecca, thank you for the jewels. Appreciate that. All right, we're almost there. We're getting very, very close. And we'll be able to finish this marble up pretty quick now. All right, we're looking good. I'm going to park that off to the side. So the last trick is I got to get this little portion right at the tip top up there. It's all clear. I got to bring all that color front and center. See that little clear section right there. I got to get rid of that. I got to pull the color directly in the center. And that'll make it look really good. So we're going to do that right now, and then I can start getting it round. So we're going to let it kind of gravity drip down, and as it's pulling down with the gravity, I'm going to keep spinning it, and we're going to start slowly tapering it off until we get a nice tight little concentric spiral in there. Got a happy little spiral. Now we got a happy little spiral going. The clear's all removed, and we're looking good. Okay, let's round this thing up. Round it up. How's everybody doing tonight? If you are having a fantastic night, type a little 1 in the chat and say hi. I hope to see a lot of 1s popping through. Boroglow? That is my invention from a while ago. Thank you, Diane. All right, we got to get this kind of mellowed out now. I got to have a little bit of control with it. Normally I could use rollers to do this, but I just don't want to go grab them. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I can bust out the little dagger now if you all want to see the dagger. Keep pushing the 1s in there if you want to see the dagger. It's a little dragon dagger. It's not little, though. It's a 19-inch dagger with a dragon head on it. And here we go. We got this rounding out. We're looking good, too. This thing's looking awesome, actually. Pretty happy. All right, so we're going to start working our way over to the marble mold. It is right over here. I'm just going to kind of let gravity do its thing. I don't push it in there. Just kind of let gravity do its thing. Let the weight of it. Oh, we got a lot of 1s in there. All right, I'll bust out the dragon sword. Hold on 1 second. I'll do it while I'm heating this up. We can multitask. We're going to multitask. So I just got to get this one little wrinkle out before I do that, though. I'm glad I moved the marble mold in the front and center up there. You guys got a much better view now. All right. So as promised, while I'm doing this, this is the dragon dagger. Bust it over here. This is one of my favorite pieces. We're going to be making another one in the beginning this year, somewhere. I'm going to remove the claws. I'm not going to do the claws this version. The next version will have wings. And then we're going to put a dragon spine on the back here. So it's going to have more of a dragon spine. There's a little blade. So as promised, I brought out the dagger. As I go banging it all over the place. I guess it's pretty durable. Hamish, thank you so much. Thank you. Kind of a cool little piece, right? I don't have a price on it because it's not for sale. I didn't make it to sell it. I just kind of made it to have fun with it. All right, as you can see, we got these really cool colors bouncing through now. And this one's almost done. We're getting close. All right, we're going to bring it down a stage. And this is where we start fine-tuning the whole thing. And you just keep going smaller and smaller till they all start floating in there really well. I do not have any wind chimes in my studio. No wind chimes in the studio. Not yet. We'll work on it. A blue ice sword? I don't know on that one. Well, y'all haven't seen the giant sword yet. I do have a 4-foot sword behind me. It's just hanging back there. If you would like to see the 4-foot sword after I finish this off, I'm not too far off. When finishing, type in sword. Type in sword in the chat, and I will grab the 4-foot one behind me. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get to, but I don't mind grabbing it if y'all want to see it after I'm done. I have no problem doing that. I have to say 4-foot sword because I started making a mistake and I kept saying in chat, do you want to see my big sword? And that could be taken a very different way. So I had to start saying glass sword and 4-foot sword. I didn't even realize I was saying that, and yeah, that could be a problem. All right, we are almost done. We are looking good here. I'm fine-tuning. This end is done. So we're going to do one more transfer, and then we're going to pop it out. Yeah, I kept saying, you know, do you want to see my big sword? And that doesn't translate very well. I'll show you the colors before we get too far. There we go. All right, last little attachment right here. Then we just have to burn this off, smooth it out, and then we'll detach it. So we just have to give it 1 second here. Now, if the marble falls, everything's fine, but they do have a tendency to want to pop off every once in a while because this attachment is barely on there. Oh, we got a little bobble there. Crap. That's not good. So we're going to pull this little bit off. Right there. All right, we just have to finish that little bump right there off, and we'll park it in the kiln. I'll grab the larger sword, the glass sword. we are looking good there. Ah, crap. Hold on, I just got to double check it. All right, we are good. So we are finished with this marble. We're going to pop it off. This is my favorite tool. Dragonfly on here, one of the mods, makes this tool. It's absolutely one of my favorites. We're going to come through, grab it, and then to remove the marble, you just tap it off. Tap it. Smooth that out and bring it over and let it cool for a second. I have to let it cool off or it will inevitably roll into the hot spot and dent. So there is the finished version. It's hard to see it right now, but it is absolutely phenomenal. Well, I might have a minute. Might be able to hit it with the flashlight real quick. There. Now you can see the colors. All right. As promised, we will grab the sword. Back. As I'm knocking everything on the planet behind it. So I have to sit way back here. It does not fit with the, doesn't fit in the camera. So here we are. It tends to, yeah. Doesn't quite fit. I'll bring the hilt over though. That's about as much as I can get into the camera. But that is that's the handle, the hilt. And everything is solid. So this is full solid. And this is the largest piece I've done that is solid. I like it. And I gotta put it way back there. There. So that is one of my, that's the largest solid piece I've ever done. 2 days. So the way that one is made is you build the hilt, the handle in one section, you build the blade in another section. And you let it cool off. You run them through the kiln, let them cool off, and then the next day you go look at it and you line them up before you assemble it. And you want to make sure that the blade's the right length, the hilt's good. If anything was off, you could make another blade or make another hilt before you do the assembly. So always kind of put things together manually before you do it with the flame. And that's a little trick I learned, because you don't want to go through and have to redo everything. That part sucks. All right, let's do some blown glass. There we go. Actually, I need to grab a quick drink for a second because I'm kind of like thirsty. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. That was hot. Dusty Shredder, thank you so much for the little super chat. Big shout out. Oh, that was hot. All right. We're going to grab some giant tubing. We're going to split it. I wish it was a lightsaber, but unfortunately not. Not quite. Not quite. If it was a lightsaber, I'd be doing some bad things. All right, let's split this up. I'm going to open this up. The marble is sold. That is already pre-sold. Okay, we got to separate this. And we're good. All right, so now we got some raw tubing we're going to work with. Got to preheat it. Heat it up. A little bit more. Okay, so first thing I want to do is open this tube up. Move that way over there. So we want to open the front and center portion up. So we grab it, and we're going to pop it. And make it whistle, apparently. We're just going to open it up a little bit. Nothing fancy, just a little bit like that. And we're going to close this end off. Like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some color to this. The first step is we're going to be adding in silver fuming. So we're going to take a little tiny chunk of silver and we're going to vaporize it in the flame. The silver is going to use the flame as a conduit and shoot inside the tube. It's kind of a cool process, but you got to be careful when you do it. So there's a little tiny chunk of silver at the end of this, right there, like a little pimple nugget of it. Again, so here it is, all clear. And this is what silver does. It's not the end result, but it's the beginning of it. So we're going to come through and we're going to heat it up. And drop it in. Like that. And now we just coated it with pure silver on the inside. See how it all changed? If you look inside, you can see it's very shiny on there. So we got a lot of shine to it. We're going to burn that in now. So we're going to kind of play with the color a little bit. go between an oxidizing and a reducing flame, meaning lots of oxygen, which will do this to it. See, it just went kind of transparent, clear a little bit in spots. That's the oxygen-rich flame. And then when you enhance it a little bit with the reduced, more propane, it definitely adds that beautiful color to it. Like that. So now we got more of that shine golden amber color to it. Now when we get done with this, it should be an electric blue in certain lighting. So we got to come through and we're just going to burn that in, play with it a little bit. Again, back to clear. See, this is where people get messed up when you're first starting off. See, it looks like I burned all the color out, right? Now watch. Now we brought it back. And no extra silver in there. So flame chemistry has a lot to do with it. And that takes a little time to get used to it. Snip those little ends off. This is 31 years. So we're going to seal this off. We're going to start shaping it, and we'll add some color and decorate it. So now my job is to seal it off. There we are. Bring it down a little bit. And there we go. Little sizzle. Okay, so we're just kind of letting it drip, finding center down that way. So just kind of let gravity do its job. Attach a little punty rod up here. Like that. We're going to seal this down a little. I want to kind of make it a little thicker right there. And here we go. And this is going to help me finish this piece off when it's all done. This is just prepping it to get there. All right, next step, we're going to expand this out a little bit now. All right, here we go. All right, we're looking good. I'm going to keep you guessing what it is right now. I'm going to keep you guessing. Oop, don't roll off. I hate it when it does that. All right, we're good on that. Now we're going to pop it. Gonna pop it. It's an angry piece, right? It's whistling away. It's having a good time. Here we go. All right. I'm going to see if I have a tiny bit of gold on here. If I have a little bit of gold, we'll be able to park it up on the top. I'm not done with this, though. We're not even close to done with it. This is going to be a cool piece. Been a while since I made it to you. Okay, if I was gold, where would I be? Right there. So this is a little bit of gold on. We're going to add right to the top portion. It's kind of going to give it a cranberry purple look. So now we just colored it with like a cranberry purple, and that is what gold looks like when it's fumed on there. Now, yeah, in the daylight, this thing will look good. I'm going to show you a little trick with it. Here we go. You can see all that blue So that is what it'll look like in daylight. A little bit of trippy color, right? No color? There. But I'm going to park this in the kiln for a second. Because we're going to make it a unique glass. It's a little tiny celebration glass. That's what I have to call it. All right, we're going to turn it into something cool, though. We're not done with it yet. Yeah, we're just going to do it all out of clear. We're going to add an accent to it. Okay, that was a bad move. I tried to go the opposite way, and I couldn't do it. I got to go the right way. I got to fix it. Try doing it a different direction. That did not work. And that's not working. Wow. All right, method number 2. I haven't done this in a while. We're going to have to fix it a different way. So give me 1 second here. That did not work either. Huh. I'm missing... Oh, there it is. I was looking for one specific piece. Hold on. Might have more control with this. Sorry, just 1 second. All right, we're good on that. We're going to take in This sucker's just shattering everywhere. Burned it off here. You still probably won't know what it is yet. That's okay, though. We'll keep you guessing for a minute. One more part to it, and then we will be good to go. All right, here we go. Just got to get it a little bit bigger here. All right, here we go. Gonna start shaping this up. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do it by hand. A little bit right there. Okay. And we're going to try it this way. Okay, I think we are good to go. Hard to grip this sucker. All right. Now we got a little screwy glass. It's a screwy glass. Frankenstein style. The Frankenstein glass. I could technically put a ball on it like a uranium ball. You could call it a screwball, but that's for a different time. Just kind of something different. That's me. I'm a little different. So we'll just park it in there. Just something random, right? I know, kind of cool, right? Tips for making the tip so good? I really don't have any on that one. That one was just, it didn't turn out as well as I wanted. So I just kind of had to spiral the glass up the right way. It didn't work out as well as I had a first thought. First two attempts did not work out. So it was not a good way in that section. So, yeah. Yeah, that was a fun piece, right? I liked it. All right. I am going to take a break for a little bit. I don't know if I'll be back tonight. Depends on how things are going at the house. But I definitely need to take a short break and get up and stretch and move around a little bit. So I will see you all in a bit. I don't know if I'll be back for sure tonight, but if I am, I will see you then.